You might be listening to this sad negative music to like soothe your pain and to cope, but not actually get you better, not actually get you like happier and to a higher emotional level. All right, are we rolling? What's going on, team? Dice Brand here, and I want to welcome you to the first part in the video series on music and how music's affecting your mood, your mind, and your self-esteem. The main focus of this video is I want to explain why quitting certain genres of music would actually be a good idea, and also like how maybe quitting music entirely for a short period of time would actually be really beneficial to kickstart this like inward journey and get rid of a lot of like this low attention span thing that you've probably got going on. So another thing is I want to help you like uncover some of the underlying influences of music and why certain genres of music it actually doesn't have your best interests in mind. Now, I just finished up a crazy challenge that I set for myself. That was to quit music entirely for a 6-month period and only replace that with like audiobooks and silence. And you're probably thinking like, fuck, that's pretty intense. Why would you want to put yourself through that torture? Well, about 2 years ago, I made the decision to quit sad music, depressive music, manipulative music, and any sort of negative influences that sort of like was going on in my life. And I just saw over time, I just saw a general increase in my overall mood, my happiness, and my self-esteem. So I want to share some of my information that I've picked up along the way with you, so you can hopefully apply some of it to your own life. Another point I want to put across is like where I sort of sparked this idea was like, what happens when you first go to Kapuka? When you first go to Kapuka, one of the first things that they remove, one of the luxuries they remove, I should say, is music. Okay, so they remove music. So there must be good reason for this. And like I figured, you know, if the military know to remove music to build soldiers, then there must be some sort of correlation with that and success. So yeah, I'm about to ruin music for you. Let me be very, very clear. I'm about to expose all of like the little ways music has been poison dripping you, manipulating your mind, and how music is not really sort of got your best interests in mind. So if you're not ready to go take the red pill and to go down the rabbit hole, now would be a really good time to turn away and turn off this video. But if you are ready to go down the rabbit hole, you're ready to find your purpose, you're ready to sort of reduce your low attention span. Maybe you're at a stage where you're quitting the military, you're getting out of the military, and you're trying to work out what your purpose is, what is the best way to move forward. This could really help you kickstart that inward journey so that you can actually go after your success and go after your dreams. This should really help me when I first left the military. It really helped me with depression, it really helped me with anxiety. It really helped me with fucking like my fidgety sort of brain that I used to have. And I think if you take this thing seriously, you're going to get the same sort of results that I did. So if this is something that you're interested in and you need some help with, I really encourage you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also stay tuned for the next couple of videos that I've got coming in the series. So with that being said, let's get started, all right? Okay, so I think most of us to some degree are aware of what music actually, how it affects our mood, but I think a lot of people, what happens is they underestimate by what amount it actually influences your mood, your mind, and also your subconscious, your psyche. So the average person is not really listening to music because they enjoy the music, okay? A lot of people, and maybe like this was me back in the day as well, we're listening to music or are listening to music that is basically because that's what the tribe is listening to. So I'm sure you can relate. Back in high school, you were probably in a situation where the hot new song that came out, for you to be cool, you'd fucking listen to that particular song to sort of like blend in, to be part of that particular tribe. And deep down, you probably didn't really like the song that much. It was basically just so that you could fit in. So as you got older, you sort of stopped caring about what other people think about you as much. But for most people, they never really got rid of that tribe mentality. They never really got rid of that thought processes in their head. And you're basically just getting slowly lulled into mediocrity, and you're basically just trying to like blend in with everybody else. Some of that framework is still very much ingrained in you. All right, so that's one point. The next point I want to put across is your parents were right. Your parents were right when they said you probably shouldn't be listening to fucking Linkin Park. You probably shouldn't be listening to a lot of like all this negative, sad, manipulative music because you didn't really have your best interests in mind. Another thing is like when you were that age, you resonated with that music for one reason or another, and it sort of like helped you through some sort of like the stress of high school. And at that age, you didn't really know any better. You didn't really have these mental tools that you're picking up now through videos like my own on other great influencers. And you got to have a certain level of forgiveness for not knowing any better. But one thing you got to realize is now you're an adult. Now you're more consciously aware. You're realizing the way that you are being manipulated by society and groupthink, and it's up to you to be able to cull a lot of this bullshit out of your life so that you actually go after the things that you want. So you got to realize that a lot of these coping mechanisms, a lot of these strategies that you had are no longer actually helping you anymore. What happens when you listen to sad, negative, or manipulative music? Okay, what is that actually doing to your mind? Okay, well, in short, what's actually going on is your mind is like a sponge. Okay, it's constantly taking in and it's absorbing information from the environment around you without your actual like conscious awareness most of the time. Okay, and it's getting in there, it's going in. Your mind is like a trash bin. Your mind is like constantly picking up all this information and just stuffing it in all of this corner. A lot of the time outside your conscious control. So by bringing a little bit more awareness to the things that are going into your mind, you'll be like, oh, holy shit, what other shit's going on in there? So I want to get into some of the science, some of the science out there that's actually getting into sad music. And I want to condense down some of the things that I've learned, because the first time that I heard this shit, it really blew my brain. Okay, so here we go. So there is some emerging evidence that is proving this shit that we kind of already know, that music has a strong influence on our mood, on our feelings, on our emotions, and get this, even our decision-making ability, okay? And like we already sort of talked about this, our self-esteem. So there is some emotion science out there that focuses on sad music and the effects on mood. So there have been some scientific experiments done on people where they've played sad music and then measured its effects on the people, okay? So here are some of my notes on the subject. You'll have to bear with me because this is actually getting pretty intense, okay? But trust me, it's gonna blow your brain. So what they found was there's 3 different types of people and the way that they internally process sad music. So the first category is the absorption category. So these people get so immersed in the music that they're able to like lose track of time a little bit and lose track of where they are. These type of people are able to experience like the emotional journey of the music without experiencing any displeasure from it, as if it was like a real life event. So these people, they can listen to the music, enjoy the journey it takes them on, but not really like fully embody it and have it like let them get down from the music. So the next category, the second category, is the reflection category. These people use sad music to reflect on their own lives. These types of people use sad music to process things that they're going through and think how to move forward with their life in a positive way. These people can also sort of get a feeling that they are not alone, and also that the artist actually understands them a little bit, This category of people are generally helped, this reflection category is generally helped by listening to sad music. All right, so now we're going to get into the third category. So this is the category that I was rooted in unknowingly, and if you're watching this video, maybe you're also unknowingly in this category as well. You may be at a stage where you are, you have like an incapacity to be able to process your moods and like move your emotions around in the way that you want to be. And like in a way that's sort of going to be adequate for you, and also like in comparison to other people. So like little things tend to get you down, which compared to the other people, they don't seem to be as affected as much, and it seems to sort of puzzle you. It may be harder for you to actually like break out of the cycle of negative thinking compared to other people. So the third category is called rumination, or people that have got depressive tendencies. So I hope you follow me with this sort of stuff. So like the first time I heard this, it started to make a bit of sense. If this is sort of making some sense for you, then hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that third category now. So generally, mentally healthy people who listen to music mindlessly aren't exactly like listening to the music and embodying the music on a deep emotional level like people that are in the second or the first category. These people in the third category tend to have more like tendencies towards depression and anxiety. They think, so these people that are in the third category, they think that they're in the second category. So they think that by listening to sad, depressive music is going to help get things off their mind, help them move on. But in reality, what actually happens, it just perpetuates the cycle of negative thinking and actually makes the situation worse. So people that are starting out at like a lower emotional level and they listen to sad, negative music, what happens is that they actually get worse over the long run. This was certainly the case for me. I didn't realize it. 2/3 of my playlist was actually sad, negative music, and that was like holding me at a lower level. It kind of like holds you in a lower emotional state. So you might be listening to this sad, negative music to like soothe your pain and to cope, but not actually get you better, not actually get you like happier and to a higher emotional level and like to a higher way of thinking. I think, like, I'm not a scientist, but in my opinion, I think what's going on is the oxytocin, or the feel-good chemical, is actually being released in the brain at the wrong time, and it's like holding you at a lower level. Now, another thing is you don't really have to be a scientist. Have a look around. Have a look around within your unit. Have a look around at basics, like at the basics. As most people like that are stuck in mediocrity and that are sad or depressed or not really doing much of their life. What sort of music are they listening to? What sort of music are they listening to? They're listening to mainstream bullshit, manipulative, sad music, okay? Anything that's got like a strong emotional charge, and that's why they're staying where they are, okay? So because they resonate with that particular music, they look and search for music that feeds their own worldview, and thus they don't go very far with their life. So you obviously don't want to be like these people. You don't want to be in that category, and hence why you're watching videos like this and other influences that you resonate with. Some of my old friends in the military that I've culled out of my life, they would perpetually listen to artists like Disturbed and like Linkin Park and Falling in Reverse and all these like really negative, like I could say like emo style songs. And they were some of the depressed, lost individuals that I've ever met in my entire life. Hence why I had to get rid of them. These people would find some peace, I could say, and some like a little bit of happiness, but not like they would only sort of go to that state for a brief period of time. And so because they would sort of have like a pity party on like how they would use the pity party to like make themselves feel a little bit better, hosted by their favorite artists, This was certainly the case for me when I first started to awaken. I could start to see that in myself that I was using music in the wrong ways. When I first started to awaken, somewhere around the end of 2017, 3 years after I got out of the military, I noticed that music had a profound effect on my mood, my self-esteem, and just like my general happiness. And more so in the mornings when my mind was sort of like half awake. I used to have an alarm clock that would play my music in the morning, and when you first get out of bed and you're listening to all this sad, depressive music, that sort of set the tone for the rest of the day, and it really wasn't helpful. So one thing that I noticed early on my journey was when I was in a shit mood, and I would listen to like music that was like lower vibration, and listen to artists like Seether in The Script. And it would sort of like get me in this sort of mode. It's like, nah, I'm a victim and life's tough and there's nothing we can do about it. But we're just gonna go through the grind, And it really never got me to a higher level of thinking. And in some sick way, like the actual listening to this type of music was helping me feel just like a little bit better to like soothe and cope, but not actually move me higher up on the food chain, you know, to a higher emotional state. I used to think of this type of music as like a painkiller, as like a way of escapism. However, this music didn't really get me to a higher emotional state. It only sort of kept me in like coping, as I mentioned earlier. What I believe is this type of music actually holds your mind in place in like a coping state, and holds you in like apathy and a lower a lower emotional state that is similar to the certain genre of music that you're actually listening to. At some point, I realized that I needed to get this shit out of my life. I needed to cull all of this negative music. I needed to move up. Like, I just got so sick and tired of being at this lower emotional state. And then over a period of time, you know, over the months that followed, I realized that my mood was better. I had less suicidal thoughts. I had my depression was almost gone, and I just sort of started to go up and up and up, and I started to be able to view the world with a different lens. Moving on, what can we learn from this? Okay, what can we learn from my experiences, and what can we learn from what I've talked about earlier in this video? So, assuming that you're in the third category, this is what's crazy. All right, are you ready for it? The people that are in the third category are not just manipulated and controlled as much by negative music, but they're also controlled by positive music. So doing things like music therapy and actually like getting rid of a whole lot of negative music and only listening to positive music has a profound effect on your mood, more so than people that are in the second category. This shit blew my fucking brain when I first saw it on the internet, okay? So if you look at the chart, that the experiments that they run, the people that are in the second category, their mood goes down a little bit and up a little bit when they listen to sad music, and then up a little bit when they listen to positive music. They have a more like stable mood, okay? But people that are in the third category, what happens is when they listen to sad music, their mood goes really down. But when they listen to positive music, their mood goes really up. So you can actually use music to your advantage if you know how to use it properly. So that's a really, really good news. Another thing I wanted to point out is, like, if you're deployed or you're in a shitty unit and you're in a working environment that's very mundane and very sort of toxic, and you're like, you know, you're working to get out of it, but you're not really in that, you're not able to get out of it right now because of the financial situation or whatever situation that you're in. You can actually reduce a lot of your anxiety, reduce a lot of your depression if you actually start listening to positive, uplifting music, and it will start to change the lens in which you actually view the world. So that's really cool. Now, I do want to point out this thing, okay? I would strongly recommend that you don't cut out music entirely just yet, because your mind is not ready for it. And I'm going to explain why in more detail in the next video. But just, I thought I'd drop that in there, just sort of you're thinking like, well, the easiest thing to do is just cut it all out. No, don't do that, and I'll explain why in the next video in more detail, okay? I've got a question for you, okay? Are you ready to move your emotional set point from here to here? Yes or no? You know, are you ready to get your life on track? So if you're a young man between like 18 and 35, you're struggling to work out what your purpose is, you're a bit lost in life, you're struggling with identity, maybe you're transitioning out of the military and you want to know what your purpose is, you want to know what to put on your resume, I could really help you with that. You know, I really want to be able to help you with that, and to be able to reduce that that gray area that's in your mind and increase your mental clarity. Now, you know, another thing you've got to point out is like the Army set a code for you, okay? It was very easy for you to go through and like follow orders and go through, these are very strict boundaries, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do. But when you get out of the military, it's up to you now to work out how to go about your own life, to create your own code. So I really want to be able to help you with that. So another thing is like my program isn't just for military members. It resonates more with military members because I'm ex-military, but assuming that you're, you know, a logical, meticulously minded, analytical type person with a functioning brain, you and I are probably going to get along really, really well, and we'll be able to put you through the program, and you'll get something out of it, and your life will be able to change, you know, for the better. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, then reach out to me, send me a DM on Instagram, and we can get on a one-on-one discovery call, see if we're actually a good fit, see if like you and I actually resonate with each other. You know, I don't want to work with people that don't want to invest in their own, don't want to invest in their self. You know, if you don't want to invest in yourself, how am I supposed to be able to help you? You know, if you got something out of this video, I really appreciate it. If you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned for the next video. So thanks so much for watching, and this is Dice out.